All right. Well, where are we? So I was just driving from Yuma to Quartzsite on a Sunday afternoon, and you might say I did a little short on a little tiny miniature church that's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. There's a sign and it invites you in to check it out. It's super tiny. The farmer here had constructed it in honor of his wife. So that was pretty cool. But it was surreal because it's right up against the Yuma Proving Ground. So those of you who don't know what that is, that's a military installation outside Yuma, Arizona. So he built this church for her, to honor her. And just an interesting note, there was a freak microburst storm that destroyed the church, and well, mostly destroyed it, threw it up 60 feet in the air or something, and he rebuilt it, and it's but my GPS rerouted me down this back road here, and I thought I would just take a drive down it, and it's hooks back up with 95 down here, but I just thought I'd see what was down here. It doesn't look like it's going to be very interesting, but I turned on the recording just to, in case it was interesting, in case there was something cool back here. But I gotta tell you, it was so strange being this little peaceful, tiny little church in the middle of nowhere and rocket fire going off over and over again in the background. It's just, I don't know that it means anything, but it kind of freaked me out, and it's funny. This is actually kind of funny. I got a beep on my phone, and I'll admit I'm on a dating app, and it says you have a match, and so and so wants to talk to you. So I had Signal, and I looked, and it was somebody kind of cute, and the message is, "Hi, how are you? I'd be interested in getting to know you better. What's up? What are you doing?" So I answered. I told her, "Well, I'm in the middle of nowhere by this little tiny church, and it's by the Yuma Proving Grounds, and there's rocket fire going off. It's really surreal." And then when I went back in, she was gone. She blocked me. He just probably thinks that was way too weird. I'm blocking this church rocket dude. This is pretty funny. So, for those of you that are wondering, as you get older and older, dating becomes not easier, not harder. It just becomes the same old pain in the ass it always was. Dating apps. There was a time before dating apps, obviously. And the most successful mechanism I ever had in my life, I was in Dallas, so I had to have been in my late 20s, early 30s, maybe early, just barely around 30. And you can't see me because the sun is just beating in on my face here. Sorry. But you can probably still hear me. So there's a guy in 65 mile an hour zone going by me at about 80. I hope he remains safe. Actually, the speed limit here is 55, and I was speeding and he passed me. So anyway, 1990, long before, there was no internet, but there was a sort of the Dallas Observer. It was almost like a tabloid newspaper in Dallas. It wasn't the Dallas Morning News, was the regular conservative newspaper, and the Dallas Observer was kind of the hip tabloid. Anyway, the Dallas Observer, one of the things it was known for was you could put in a personal ad basically for free. I think you had to mail it into them. I'm pretty sure you had to mail it into them. And they would put your ad out there up to like 50 words or something. If you wanted more than that, you had to pay a fee. But the way people would answer it, they'd give you a phone number with a voicemail. And if someone read your ad and was interested in meeting you, they would call your voicemail. In my case, the women would call the voicemail, and they would leave a recording talking about themselves and leaving their phone number for me to call them. So every night I got home from work, and I got all excited because I spent the extra money, and I really wrote a pretty good ad. It was longer, so it stood out. I spent like $50 on it. I got a lot of responses, and it was really pretty cool. You would listen to their message, and you could leave it pretty long. I don't even know if there was a limit, but they would leave it at the end, leave their number, and I really can't remember listening to a message and thinking, I don't want to talk to this woman. So I would call them back, and I had a lot of pretty long, in-depth conversations where inevitably at the end of it, we'd agree to get together someplace. We'd do the thing with, well, what do you look like? I don't know, what do you look like? And we would describe ourselves to each other. That's the best you can do. And I cannot remember being disappointed either in the appearance of my dates or their personality. And that was the most fun dating I've ever had. It was over a summer. I think it was the summer of 1990, and I just had so much fun dating these interesting, beautiful women, many of which seemed to be interested in me. None of them went, very long, because, I don't do very long. But boy, what a great experience that was. In contrast to the many years of internet dating that I've done, it just I can't really explain why. It just does not do as well as that very simple kind of thing. I also did, it was like very expensive to do this video dating service, where you would go into an office and they would do a VHS recording interview of you, and they'd put it in the library, and women would come in, and there was a room where you could put the tapes in and look at people, and you could do the same thing for the women, and both of you had to say yes for the service to exchange information. And almost never was there a mutual yes with me. Now, I'm thinking it was $1,000, but I can't imagine it was that much money back then. But it was very expensive, and it was for me, it was very unsuccessful. And I re-recorded my tape several times, hoping that it was just the way I came off in the interview. I could never really explain that. And then, internet dating, eHarmony, Match.com, Plenty of Fish. That one's been around for a long time. It's like the basic membership is absolutely free, so you get a lot of people on there. And I did get a girlfriend for a while from plentyoffish.com. Someone that we met for dinner, and boom, sparks, wonderful, and it fizzled out in about 2 or 3 months for various reasons. Dating apps, when you're in Quartzsite, Arizona, and you're a nomad, be prepared to travel a long distance, and it's pretty slim pickings. There are not that many people on dating apps in this area. We're kind of, look at the video. I know, I'm really sorry. I know you can't really see my face, but look out the front of my car. There's not a lot out here, so dating is not easy out here. that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.